Good morning. Let's take a look at yesterday. First potential shock, a late Chad equaliser. Now, this was an interesting match. 1.14 at the start, and when they scored first, Ghana, they were only 1.07. So, had I been a little more awake, that would have been a nice low odds lay of Ghana late on. Uh, Chad were putting in a good performance given their ranking. They're out there with Andorra, San Marino, etc. So, a huge shock for Ghana. Watch out for the next World Cup qualifier Ghana are involved in. They have to start winning. The only other one in Africa which really delivered for us was an excellent example of checking out the goals for the underdogs, because if it's a shock result, there might be a reason behind it, and indeed there was. Sao Tome et Principe, Lumungo, a professional footballer who can score a penalty. He is a rare breed, particularly for us traders. When you need penalties to be scored, they don't tend to be scored. But here, a 2-0 lead. So already we've got a 1.3 shot away from home, 2-0 down at half time. Panic? Well, they're two penalties. Next port of call is the in-play stats. And you can tell by the red on the right-hand side, it's dominance from Equatorial Guinea. They look unlucky. Now that, for me, is value. What was it, 5.5 sixes to back Equatorial Guinea with a whole half to go, dominating the match against a side who are only leading via two penalties. And off we go. Gannett, Salvador, and Nabil all delivering before the 70th minute mark. And you can cash out here with a whole 20 minutes to go for a very decent return. So that's a good start there, Equatorial Guinea. Great example, isn't it? Everything just seemed to fit together. You've got the odds-on favourite, so the market's done its work, and the odds-on favourite is delivering like an odds-on favourite, but it's just unlucky with those two penalties. So that was a nice trade to uncover that one. You can see the North African sides. Algeria and Botswana, you had a chance to back Algeria as high as about 1.8. I was tempted to do so. Or lay the draw second half, which is what I mentioned on Telegram. At 1-1. Don't forget, these are must wins, aren't they? They're World Cup qualifiers. How many draws did we see yesterday? Just the two amongst all the World Cup qualifiers. That could be an angle in and of itself, couldn't it? Just the two draws. Guinea-Bissau coming from behind to equalise and deserve to do so, and a late capture by Chad. In Europe, Wales against Kazakhstan. Craig Bellamy's side to get the first half goal. Very good performance from the Kazakhs yet again. You saw what they did to Celtic, Kera Almaty. Lithuania and Malta. Well, Malta took the lead. Lithuania did equalise 1.62, but these sides were at the wrong end of the world rankings. The big shock yesterday was Slovakia-Germany, or was it a shock? I did mention as I left that the in-play stats for the first half were just even Steven, which infers they were exact pretty much on my in-play stats feed for the first half. Total shots 6, shots on target 3, corner kicks 4 each. That infers both sides are capable of scoring, doesn't it? 6 shots each, 3 shots on target, 1 off to 2 off. Very, very tight match. So a lot of unfamiliar names for me as well in the lineup. A lot of the big guns are absent as well. That is a concern. We won't have missing players. Kai Havertz, Musiala, Ter Stegen. Would Ter Stegen have made a difference to the 2-goal haul as well? But it was all about the first half stats. You were not seeing a 1.44 Germany, in stark contrast to Equatorial Guinea. So in-play stats are a key tool. Any other plays yesterday? Well, from a personal perspective, I was looking for the Faroe Islands to come back, but thankfully I took out insurance and I cashed out early. So I made about a £7 loss rather than risking a £30 loss. But the Icelandics did get the goal to make it 1-2, but just couldn't follow up to make it 2-2. Angola and Libya, I did play that one. Georgia and Turkey, laid Turkey at 1-3, and we got a Georgian goal, but alas, we couldn't make it to 3-3. Well worth taking on at such short odds. We just saw a reaction from Georgia, but the reaction came too late. 2-3 in about the 75th, 80th minute mark. That would have got the market thinking, they could take advantage of this red card. Look again, the general avoidance of draws. This was a disappointing display from the Netherlands, who had scored, 8 goals in the 2 prior matches. The Poles will be delighted with this point. It's an unexpected point, that's for sure. Under 21s, nothing much doing there yesterday. The only trade there, if you took that, and I did mention it, Moldova under 21s took the lead against the Irish. Irish equalising, I think, first half, getting the winner second half. Did posit delay the draw there for you. Well done, Ireland, at 1.46. Looking on to today, and it's a day of in-play stats, and I'm probably going to pop on. So I'll give you a bit of a Brucey bonus on Telegram today. I do like some of these matches that I've seen. If we've got anything like the Equatorial Guineas, it will be worth my while. Don't forget, it's all about the FIFA World Rankings, sponsored by Coca-Cola, the drink of the athlete who has type 2 diabetes and no teeth left. So let's have a look. So you use your filters here. We're going to go to Africa, which is the AFC. Oh, no, it's not the AFC. It's the CAF. So once you're there, I'm just going to sort my tabs out. It is important, particularly with the likes of Equatorial Guinea and Sao Principe, to know the gaps. Somalia and Guinea, I'm going to be collecting my odds on favourites. So already I know who the market fancies. It's all about doing the checks that we did with Equatorial Guinea. Are they performing like the market expects them to perform? Senegal and Morocco, 2 of the top sides in Africa, you can tell up here, 12th and 18th. So already they are on the radar. They have already been playing competitive football as well in a AFC Championship, something like that. Nothing to do with the World Cup, but it's been competitive and it's been recent. So Monaco and Senegal really do stand out at 8 o'clock. Should be very, very reliable. Top of the rankings. So matches like Somalia and Guinea, you can see that Somalia are 200ths. And there are quite a few Guineas, so get it right. It's the first Guinea. 81st against 200th. Right. 200th, don't forget Chad. We're 143rd and got a 1-1 against Ghana. So you've got an impression now of why Somalia are 11-1. So I think there might be a play or two there today in Africa. I will be following for you Egypt against Ethiopia, for example. Do check as well if there is any need for points. You can do that by going to the match itself and looking at the standings. I think it's all 0-0. Oh no, Egypt are on 6, played 6, they're on 16. So really, Burkina Faso can't even capture them with a win today. No other side can capture them with a win today. So Egypt might not be in a must-win territory. Do check the team news. If the mighty Mo Salah is playing, you're always in with a shout, particularly a 1.18 shot with Mo Salah in the side. Professional Development League will give me a good opportunity to practice the over 2.5 goals. And if you go to Odds Checker, you can check out the over 2.5 goal odds if you want to build up a system. I'm using over 1.5 goals at odds of 1.5 or shorter. So that would get my attention. Put on my shortlist. And as you can see, not many others. Oh, this is English League One for the weekend. So we just do it for today. But you've got the over 2.5 goal coupon, which I like on Odds Checker. It isolates. And this is good for creating betting systems. I will do one with over 1.5 goals as well at certain odds. So that's a good find. Very useful here for the Professional Development League if we can get it on. Let's see if we can find the Professional Development League. See if the over 2.5 goals in the Professional Development League are all unders. So we'll go to over and under 2.5 goals and scroll our way down. Faroe Islands 1.57 under 2.5 over 2.5 goals today against Croatia. That's likely to be the impact of the away side. Italy 1.25 over 2.5 goals. I might see some slight problems. Italy failed to qualify for the World Cup, isn't it? 2 consecutive tournaments. This is going to be a huge concern if they can't get past the FA Trophy, friendlies, see all leagues and cup. If we have the Professional Development League here, we can have an instant look at their odds. Likely to be very short indeed as well. Looks like we don't have it here, just the second tiers. But not to worry, you can get the odds here. So click on one of the matches. What we're looking for are over 2.5 goal candidates in over 2.5 goal leagues. It's not rocket science. Anything 1.5 or lower, 1.24. So what I'm waiting for is a number of scenarios. Scenario 1, if you want to play the first half in these leagues, when they got short odds overs, you can wait for 20 minutes and then back over 2.5 goals. If you get a goal before halftime, that's a possible cash out opportunity. 0-0 at halftime, I would be looking to back over 1.5 goals second half, looking for that single goal. And bearing in mind, it's 1.3 for over 2.5 goals. If there's a single goal at halftime, I would be looking to back over 2.5 goals, depending on the odds. And again, cashing out with a single goal between the 46th and 70th minutes. Should be hitting it particularly. We've got a very, very strong overs league, and we've got very strong overs candidates. So I'll keep an eye on those for you today. The World Championship qualifiers. Again, it's important to know the FIFA rankings, particularly with the likes of Denmark and Sweden. Not sure. Let's have a look. So we can get our filters and go by UEFA. So we can get rid of I don't know why we've got this. Yeah, Guinea. So we'll go to Denmark. 21st. And they're playing Scotland today. 47th. Now for me, this match hinges on the effectiveness of Scott McTominay and to a large extent as well, John McGinn. 2 players who can chip in with goals. I can't tell you the Scottish centre forwards. There's no prominent strike force that I can remember. Not like Archie Gemmell. So possibilities here for Scotland. It's all determined on how good a game Scott McTominay has. He can come on with crucial goals. You can just ask Spain about that. Croatia against the Faroes. Just check the team news and the standings as well. You can check the standings for each match. Greece and Belarus. We've got a lot of odds on favourites today. Greece and Belarus, for example, you can look at where Belarus are. They are 97th and Greece 39th. That's the reason for those short odds. And these Greek sides are starting, like Panathinaikos, starting to score goals in Europe. So it could be a change for Greece. They used to be known for their very defensive habits. Italy 1.05, far too short. It's going to be a nervy affair if they don't score early, because they just keep missing those World Cups, don't they? They've already had a couple of hiccups. That loss to Norway in the first match means everything else from here on in the group stage has to be won. Elsewhere, watch out for Slovenia. You saw Slovakia, Switzerland and Kosovo. So where are Kosovo on the scale? 95th, Sweden, top 30. So that's edging towards 100. But still, look at the market. You could see a Slovakian-type performance from Slovenia today with home advantage and passionate home support. Ukraine against France. Don't know much about Ukraine. But where are they in the rankings? 26th. and France are third. When you get into the top 5, is it just the upper echelons just too good? A bit like Paris Saint-Germain, French League 1. Under 21 qualifiers, we don't have the FIFA World Rankings for those, which is a pity. So you've got to take your cues from the odds. And you saw with the Irish under 21s yesterday, if we can pick the right match, we can make a good play. Got lots of odds on favourites today. Not sure why these have all been scrubbed out. But ones, you saw a couple of matches yesterday with 1.01 shots. 7 goals in the first one. So bear that in mind. How many did Spain score yesterday? So there is a market for these shorties. If it's 0-0 after 20 minutes, for example, why not back over 1.5 goals first half goals or over 2.5 goals first half goals? Spain, we were unlucky. It was 1-0 and then they had a penalty shout and it was disallowed, which was a pity. Irish, First Division, Irish, not going to get involved with that. No Irish Premier League because I've probably got some internationals in there. Dundalk, odds on against Wexford. Bray as well. And Co-Bramblers away at Kerry. That looks pretty big odds for Co-Bramblers, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if there's a story behind that. And in La Liga 2, well, we can look, if you go off to soccerstats.com, we can look at the La Liga 2 matches. There aren't too many played. It is an important league because it's a feeder league for the newly promoted, of course. Albacete and Mirandes, don't know much about these two. Anything that the early matches can provide, probably too early to have any strong conclusions here. But what we do have with Albacete is a both teams to score habit and a hell of a second half goal scoring habit. 6 goals in the second half in the first match, 5 in the second half in the second match, 2 in the third match. So if it's 0-0 at half time or 1-1 at half time, look for second half goals. But it's in stark contrast to Mirandes, who've got a couple of 1-0 defeats and then a 1-2 win against Granada, suggesting they're pretty defensively sound. So it's a difficult match, isn't it? Look at the stark contrast between the two. Which way do you go? I like the defensive bent for Mirandes. If they're losing, they're only just losing. And the other match, we can go here and head down to it, get past all these obstacles and look at Cordoba and Castellón. So that's what we get with these two. They haven't had a win yet. Identical form, 2 defeats and a 0-0. So steady improvement on the last match. Far too early in the season. Like the first match, 4 out of the 6 matches have seen at least a goal before half-time. But it's far too early, isn't it, to have any conclusions there. So I might be up and about for members of footballtradingprofits.com for a bonus session. I like the depth of the coupon today. I like the fact there's so many matches on, particularly under 21s, which we got the Irish yesterday. World Championship, be careful. In-play stats key, as you saw with Slovakia and Germany. And Africa, where we got Equatorial Guinea. So we might get some angles out of it. I think Angola, the only losing odds-on favourite yesterday against Libya. All others delivered, particularly went at home and at very short odds. And do try to target the draws late on. They are World Cup qualifiers. Points are precious, that's for sure. You can check the standings here as well before I go. Here we go. So as you can see, some of these matches, Group G's onwards, have been very busy indeed. So bear that in mind. But the early groups, not to get going. So we haven't got any form. We haven't got any recent head-to-heads, really. Have a great day. I might see members of Football Trading Profits throughout the day on Telegram. Normally a day off in lieu of tomorrow. I've done the research for English League 1 and English League 2 for members as well. Just basic research, but we've got some really nice little angles for tomorrow. Have to be very careful with these leagues, of course. The lower down you go, the more dangerous they become for the trader. Have a great day, and I'll possibly see members on Telegram throughout the day.